I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I'm Queen Victoria II. I'm the real monarch, and I'm not going to go into that again. It's on a lot of the videos over the years and recently. My dad's Edward VIII, I will say that, and he was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, and she was Queen of England, 36, the same year that President Roosevelt, who's Jewish, this is part of the Illuminati, the mafia, the Freemasons. He appointed Joe Kennedy, that's JFK's father, ambassador to England in 1936 for the specific reason of taking down my father. My father would not take orders from the Illuminati, so they took him out with character assassination. He never married Wallace Warfield Simpson, a double-dead imposter, and there were several that went out and committed bad behavior, like they had him riding a tricycle wearing a diaper or the flag, I can't remember which now. And of course, my mom, they thought they were rid of my dad, but he had made legal papers that stated should he have an heir, the heir would inherit, and they are legal. So the moment I was born, I'm Victoria II, the legal heir, the real monarch. Uncle George, my father's brother, did as Illuminati asked, or agreed to it, obviously. They made him king. How's that? And thus Elizabeth and their war criminals. And Elizabeth's always known about my birth, about it all, about my mom, and yet all these years she's failed to repute the fact that Wallace married my father and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, that it's a total lie and facade. She's enjoyed her life. She works for the Illuminati. And I want to put this up now, too, because there was a recent, I already know, I mean, they're the ones that kidnapped me, the Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy clan, Roosevelt's Jewish, but there's a lot more that were involved in it then, even back then. But anyway, it made way. When they took my father down, he wouldn't sign papers and treaties and things that they wanted, or do it. He wouldn't take orders from them. So anyway, it made way for what is now the United Nations up in New York City, where the Illuminati, the Rockefeller Plaza, isn't it cute? He's going to have a Christmas tree. Well, they always have in Rockefeller Plaza. I'm telling this here. I did a book, and I've put this up a lot back in '76 till I had a letter from the FBI, 79, June the 23rd, which is my father's birthday, by the way. Of course, I mean, that was back, and this is June 23rd of 79, and it was ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now, Larry Flint was shot then, and I'm being redundant, but I'm leading to it by giving you a little bit of background so you know what I'm saying, because so many people come back and say, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. So anyway, Mr. Flint was shot by a program shooter. I was riding in Lawrenceville, Georgia, about 45 miles from Marietta outside Atlanta, where I was writing the book, MD License to Kill. It involved Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, a lot of things, Center for Disease Control. It involved the Tesla files that were stolen back in 1930. And believe me, there was a lot more in those files and records that were stolen. But this is what I was writing about, the fact that they could cure an illness or create an illness back then. So all this research has gone for nothing other than research for new illnesses. How do you think AIDS got started and taken to South Africa? And E. coli, oh, what's the other one? I'm forgetting now, I'm tired. And now I'm going to lose my train of thought. But that's what they're into. So I was writing about Tesla files, and Donald Trump's uncle, and I need to hurry up or I'll lose my space here on this. It'll go off. Uh, George John Trump was professor at MIT and supposedly had stolen the files. The Illuminati stole them now. I don't know if he's a part of the Illuminati or not. I hope not. I hope President Trump is a good guy that I've seen him to be and believe him to be. And he has a beautiful wife, First Lady. So, anyway, I thought I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80 because of the book I was writing. And in part it was, but I found out in 83 when I was flown out to Larry Flint's to replace one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, congressman, who supposedly went down on August 31st of 83 on the KAL that was shot down. I will say this, that Nixon was on that same flight and taken off just before it took off for South Korea, and it went down with 280-something passengers aboard. Larry McDonald, congressman doctor, was supposed to be on it. There's a question if the whole thing was taken down to make it appear that way. And that's what mind control can do with the pilot. I mean, they can program anybody without their knowledge or consent. So now, Larry Flint was shot by a program shooter. And I wanted to get to this part. When they talk about, I don't know why my route in life, it's certainly been hell, but there was so much that I found out about the Clintons. I really did. And some others that I've mentioned before, and I want to finish this. They're part way up in the Illuminati, the Clintons are, and Chelsea went to Oxford. So did, it's weird, some of the other people. Henry Kissinger's Global Government, the one on the 18.5-minute gap that I've told about that they role played when I worked for the District Attorney Fred Simpson in 80 after I was almost killed. You should know, and you should be, if there's ever film of it shown, what he was ordering done if the Brits didn't cross their palms. That's right out of the White House with Nixon. Okay, now I wanted to go to this, really. And I know there was something else, but I wanted to get this. There's so much going on now. All Oprah or Michelle Obama have to do is show up or call up, and they get videoed, and they get stories, and they get people helping them, rushing to help them. Now, I'm going to focus on Michelle Obama, the First Lady, prior. Her book here, they don't need agencies or publicity agents or anything. The television picks up on it. All the Illuminati controlled by the Rockefellers, the reason they've never told about me or anything, or the book I was writing, or the truth about mind control murders. And by the way, the one up in Ventura was the latest, well, one of the latest, I guess, and the one up in Pittsburgh, and the Virginia Tech next door here in Blacksburg is where I live, trying to live here in Salem, Roanoke area, and Virginia Tech, where the 33 was shot. By the way, Elizabeth was going through at about that time, and I'm living up on the Appalachian Trail, starving and freezing, just a few miles away from her. And she goes on to the state and makes speeches, and then she goes to D.C. and she's honored with banquets, and on to New York. Okay, and she's a fake and a fraud and a war criminal. And she wants to, and they do this on TV and nobody questions why. So much publicity is always on about the so-called royal family, only they don't tell that they're the fakes. And what behind it, anything about me in the book or anything. They never mention it. So now let me get back to this, because this is going to go off. Michelle Obama has been, she was on, I think it was NBC. I saw her on yesterday or the day before. I don't remember, the last couple of days. And they're promoting her book, and she looks so pretty. She has her hair done. She has beautiful clothes, so articulate and everything. Now, her husband, through since they took down my father and kidnapped me, they have known. All the presidents have, your Secretary of States have. Henry Kissinger, by the way, was Secretary of the State, and he also Secretary of Defense. So he was all over. He's now the global government head honcho. Okay? He's Jewish, by the way, that thought Diana should be queen. How's that? And his ultimate aphrodisiac is money and control. Now, I want to finish this quick. Michelle Obama, I'm the Queen of England. I was kidnapped. I'm Victoria II. If you didn't want to accept the fact that I'm the Queen, then I am Windsor. My father's Edward VIII. My mother was a beautiful lady, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin. Sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. You should know that name, you know. So I was taken there in conditions that are hell on earth at age 2. I picked that cotton. I did all the slum bag hell that could go on to a human being. Then I put it in a book, and then all these other crimes are done, and you don't know anything about it, but your book is being, you're on TV all the time. Now it's promoting it. All you have to do is, your book will be a bestseller just like Stormy Daniels, because the same thing happened there. The Illuminati that control your press, that kidnapped me, your global government, sitting right up in New York City, United Nations, is your front for your global government that's in power now. Now I want to turn to Oprah. All she had to do was go to Florida and show up, and all hell breaks loose. Everybody's welcoming her, the press. You let anybody in that group of people write a book or anything, and they're Johnny on the spot. The press that's controlled by the same Illuminati acts as a publicity agent for them. Well, I wondered about Oprah. Why on earth does she want to chase? Well, I don't know that she's chasing. She probably doesn't have to chase them, but she wants to interview, if she hasn't already, Meghan and Harry. Well, Meghan is biracial, and that's what they're using. Somebody told me in 2009 that he was going, well, that's not even Harry, I don't think, but that he was going to marry a black lady. And she's biracial. So they're using that, and the media covers it and everything. While I'm sitting here, been through hell, telling you something that should be important to everyone about mind control murders and what appears to be the end times. And I put up a piece out of another book by Tex Mars that says the same thing, only this was after I did my book. This is in 96 that a church sent it to me. Said, this is what you're talking about, the chipping people in the global government, and everyone had to take a chip, the mark of the beast. Well, it's already sitting there right now. So the other thing I wanted to say is, where did the two of them and all the rest of this miss me? You know, and why run after Meghan and Harry? My book never got published. It was ripped out of a safety deposit box that belonged to Jimmy Carter's. And I liked Jimmy Carter. I thought he was good until I found out some things now. Burt Lance owned the bank I had it in on Winter Hill Road in Marietta, across from Urban Medical, where I used to work. And I had paid it as bad as things got for me. I had paid it all those years until 85. I paid it, though. And they informed me that my book had been removed from, we had letters from the FBI and a bunch of other stuff, certificate, and where I did the book, and sent it and rejected, and one almost took it and went before their board. I think that was a Reveal. At least it went before their board. So there was no doubt in what I was doing. And it was taken for safekeeping, they said in the letter. And I've never heard, seen anything, don't know what happened to it. Now, I think that's about the only time I have on here, other than I wanted to address both these ladies. When I was doing the book was when the black children were killed in Atlanta. And this is when it got so bad for me, too. I'd gotten the letter from the FBI. It was Wayne Williams. Mary Welcome was well known. This is going to go out. She was his attorney, and she was going to interview me after I was almost killed and taken across the line by Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins, the psychopath that beat me every day of my life. Took me over there, and I worked for the district attorney, though, Fred Simpson. I was working for Golden Triangle, which is really CIA, I learned. But I talked with Mary on the phone there, used their Watts line. And I was afraid she wouldn't believe me. And she came right to the phone and she says, "Oh, I believe you." She was going to send and get a deposition. Well, I was almost killed again. And Henry Mims is a black attorney that helped me, and Jack Hartsfield saved my life. But Mr. Mims was a very nice man. I liked him. However, I don't know that anybody has gone to bat for me other than that. Everybody's just ignored me. I don't exist other than money that has come in here, hostage money in all forms. But before this goes, Wayne Williams is in prison, state prison in Georgia. And I guess he's there for life. The murders kept going after Wayne was convicted. And I want to mention another one. And there's a book called The List by Chet Detlinger, former FBI. You should read it. It doesn't tell all this, but it sure tells enough about those murders and what happened. The case was taken away from Mary, but I'm not going to blame the CIA. Heck, there's all kinds of people who gotten out and protested all this. Where are all the protesters here? Mrs. Obama and First Lady and Oprah. Now, if this hasn't gone off, I want to say this. The other one is, I miss the name correct. I got in a hurry like I am now. Oh, for God's sake, what? Brian Nichols, is a black man who, from every account, had a good background. He was in jail in Fulton County where all this took place. And by the way, that's where Mary, well, I'm not going to put her name, not Mary Welcome, who's a woman on TV that did all, she's from Atlanta, and her, oh, geez. Anyway, she worked for the district attorney then, and I can't think of his name right now. He's deceased now. But anyway, Brian Nichols was in jail. They brought him out, and he grabbed a gun from a deputy, and I think shot the deputy, shot the judge and killed him, and a couple of other people shot him. I don't know how many died, maybe just one or two. But then he kidnapped he did shoot a custom officer too, in outlying Atlanta there, a suburb. I've forgotten his name, but where he was going is a clue to all this too, the custom officer. But anyway, they put Brian Nichols, they caught him and put him back in jail, and he's in jail, I guess, for life in Virginia State. These are programmed. These people are programmed. They're victims just like the one that they shot or killed. And Oprah and Mrs. Obama, you should have used your black power, and you do have it. All you have to do is look at television and start counting. And I was never prejudiced. You can say that, and that would be a lie. But I got put out there, and I know that other people can be just as prejudiced as anybody. And I was growing up in North Alabama when the Selma, Alabama went on. And I'm the one that had the hate crimes done against and had no civil rights, and I still don't. Thank you.